Summer, Joseph, Allie. I fall into that category of people who had great teachers in high school that eventually determined their career path. Some of the teachers are still here, and I love that aspect of it. But I would say that when I look back on my choice, it definitely had a lot to do with the relationships that I built with those teachers, and then just knowing that you can have that impact on someone else's life. My lesson plans depend on my end goals. I'm an end goal kind of person. So when I sit down to plan a lesson, I start with, well, what's my end result? What's the skill set that I want them to have at the end of this, or what's the content that they need to get through? And then I backwards plan from there. Okay, so if this is my end goal, then where do I have to start? And then kind of like Derek said, it modifies based on schedule. Like if this is my end goal, I map out a week at a time. Okay, at the end of this week, here's where we ended. What do we have to get through next week in order to reach that goal by whatever date? I think because at its core, English is about human connection. So the books that we're prescribed to read, even if they are over 30 years old, there's something about that book, there's some human quality that brings us together or still relates to us. In an English classroom too, anymore in English, it's about emphasizing their ability to communicate. And especially with verbal communication, because these kids, they're connected all day long. They're texting each other, they're Snapchatting each other, they're Instagramming each other. So I would tell you, like on a verbal level, they get less time to practice that. And so that's what I try and get them to do. Not only to have thoughts, but then to share and express those thoughts verbally.
I'm gonna run out of card. Once.
I would say that if there's not something about the kids that you love or the relationship aspect of it, then it's probably not a job for you. Because I can't think of any other career, and I'll tell people this, like one of the things I love most about my job is that I have access to a room full of people. So while they have to listen to me for at least an hour, it's a chance for me to connect with 100 people in a day. And like I can't think of anywhere where I would get to do that. And especially at the high school level, it's really cool to get to see them transition from young adult to being an adult, or what they consider an adult. So that's really fun to get to see. It's kind of like the last battlefield, I think, for human connection. Like, it's the last place where we're trying to convince people that you have to interact with other people. You have to be dependent on someone standing in front of you. You have to be dependent on building and maintaining a relationship. I think a lot of job industries are looking at this thing where, again, because they have so much access to information, you really question the validity of like needing someone, like a person there. And so I think teaching has already seen that trend, right? Because there's online school or you teach from a computer. So I just think it's really important to reinforce that we have to be connected to the people around us.